Hello, friend.
Is it possible that what I need is actually ultimately up for me to decide myself? And thus, is it possible that I actually always have everything I need if I allow it, if I choose to view it that way? I had this thought recently, and the idea is not yet fully formed, but I do know there is definitely some strong truth and wisdom in this that really does apply to our lives. Basically, I think the word need may need to be redefined or at least looked at in a different light. Welcome to Phil Soul. My name is Ollie. Of course, these are some really big concepts and not really how many of us think in tough situations in life, including myself. But I really wanted to make a video on it because it was so profound and interesting, but also I don't completely understand it yet. So I wanted to throw it out there and offer what I can, start some discussion, and hopefully we can all grow and learn together. It's really profound, but I want to explain what I mean exactly by this, what I know is true, the value and application of it, and hopefully that's enough to help people on its own. But I do not understand the full extent of this concept, the full application. I don't know if it's a universal concept or not. So this is not your typical lesson video because I'm definitely still learning, but here we go. We don't always need what we feel or think that we need. I'm sure many of us have had a moment like this in our life where we don't get something that we felt we needed, and it actually ended up serving us more, and we learned a bit of a lesson there. But we have the ability to take a step back and really be objective and get out of the emotions of it, right? And think, what's the worst that'll happen without this? What can I do? And really look at the positive possibilities and really make progress from there. And we can think about what we truly need instead of just what it feels like we need, because we feel unsafe or something. And so when we look and realize that there are some things that we were trying to hold on to, but we don't actually need them, that allows us to then let go. And this lets us focus on what is important. And that lets us achieve our goals better now that we know what's really important. And also it just helps us to be more happy and less worried because we're not getting caught up in the emotions of what we feel we need. So an example, and of course if you've seen my other videos, you'll know that I would like to use a personal example so that you can really see how I've applied it to my life and how it served me. So Storytime, a while back, about a year ago, I had a friend who I really enjoyed the company of very, very much. And eventually this friend just stopped talking to me. And it was out of the blue, I didn't really know why. I didn't think I was doing anything to be abrasive or anything like that, but I knew this person was going through some really tough situations. I didn't want to put on more pressure or anything. But I would, text something positive, no reply, or I would wait a couple weeks and text. And after about a month and a half of this, I eventually realized that, frankly, this person just, for whatever reason, didn't want me in their life anymore. Of course, that is very difficult to say, and it was very difficult to accept. There was seemingly no reason. It's not like it ended ugly, it just ended. And that's almost worse because you don't get closure. And, of course, at the time I was going through a lot of other issues, life circumstances, and, of course, I was still struggling with personal insecurities, lack of self-confidence, lack of self-love. And I'm a lot better about that these days, nearly a year later. But at the time, when you're struggling with that and then somebody just decides to not be your friend anymore, it doesn't do you any favors. And keep in mind, on top of that, I was also coping with the loss of multiple loved ones. So suffice to say, I didn't handle it well. And I put way too much stock into this relationship that, unbeknownst to me at the time, this relationship was pretty much destined to end. And this created a lot of struggle for me, a lot of pain. Because when you believe that you need something in order for your life to continue well, in a good way, healthy, positive way, and you don't get that thing, of course that's cause for some sort of pain or discomfort on some level. It's easy to end up believing that your life will suffer somehow. So let's use a smaller example from the opposite perspective. So you need cream cheese, you go to the store to get cream cheese, you show up, they have cream cheese, you get the cream cheese, everything's fine. You don't necessarily stop to think about, oh no, what if they didn't have cream cheese, right? But let's say you didn't get the cream cheese, okay? but you're still operating under the thought that you need cream cheese. So now there's a struggle. You think, well, where else can I get cream cheese? How can I work around this? You might get upset or irritated that you didn't get what you feel that you need. When our perceived needs are fulfilled without issue, we're a lot less likely to have that struggle. And this is very important because that struggle is an opportunity for us to grow if we allow it. When you get your cream cheese, you don't stop to deal with the challenge of not getting cream cheese. And that's fine. It's not like everything needs to be inconvenient all the time just so that we can grow. So when I lost something that I felt that I needed, being that relationship, it did create a huge struggle within me, a lot of pain. But I'm able to look back now and realize that it was a huge opportunity for me to grow in an area that I needed to grow in. Remember, if losing this relationship was a big struggle for me, that just means that was an area that I'm able to grow in, that I should grow in. Because if it wasn't a struggle, that means I've already grown to that point. And if I hadn't grown, then it would be a struggle, right? So, which, by the way, if I was capable of working through this relationship, the loss of it, without issue, all that means is I didn't need the relationship, right? Humans have this amazing, wonderful, beautiful ability to take tough, stressful situations and use them as fuel for growth, to become a literally better person, stronger, more capable and loving and happier and more helpful and confident. Better in every way. We can grow and heal past these things and live better lives because of it. That's the beauty of going through tough, sad situations. So after very, very much struggle, I was able to do that. And to be honest, it's only in recent weeks that I feel as good about it as I do. It took me about 3/4 of a year to work through it to the point that I'm at now, and I'm still not totally 100% done. Those who saw me at the time knew that I wasn't handling it well. They knew that my sky was falling. But because I was able to eventually come to terms with it and use it as an opportunity to grow, I am now, today, a lot more capable of handling healthy relationships. I'm a lot more in tune with how people are acting and how I'm feeling and how I react, and all these things that are very, very useful for me. Think of it this way. What if I met my soulmate down the line? Or what if I met somebody who would be a great business partner with me? Or whatever wonderful opportunity it might be. What if I didn't learn these lessons, right? And what if I end up botching these things? Or maybe not even botching, but just delaying things or making these situations messy and sticky then when it really, really matters compared to now, right? And if that's the case, I'm really glad that I learned these lessons when I was 20 compared to 25, 30, whatever. And I think this is really, really important because so often, we think we need something and then we don't get it, or it's taken away from us. And so often, we actually are fine, but we don't realize it. And sometimes in hindsight, the challenge that comes from not having these things that we think we need actually provides us growth that is way more valuable than the thing we thought we needed in the first place. So of course, while I know that there's a lot of truth in this and it's very applicable for me and many other people, I'm not quite sure where the limitations of this concept are, what the full extent of it is. To use a very extreme example, what about people who are starving and they can't get food, or people whose homes have become war zones? It's really hard for me to look at that and say, yeah, that's what you need, right? I and most people wouldn't want these things to happen. We would want to prevent these things and help people with getting out of these things. And these are things that never should have happened. So, and also they're experiences that I've never had to endure. I'm very blessed with the safety and security that I have. So it's very hard for me to speak from that perspective. I can't speak from that perspective, right? I can't apply this concept to these experiences that I have not gone through, that I don't understand firsthand. So that's why I'm not exactly sure how universal this concept is. And that's kind of why I wanted to open up discussion about it. It's a bit more philosophical. But it's really hard for me to apply this to those extreme situations that I personally don't understand. What I can say with confidence is that keeping a mindset of overcoming your trials and using hardship as an opportunity for growth to better yourself and come out on top serves you more than allowing yourself to be beat down. I think anyone can agree with that. It's a pretty simple principle, I think. But it's still hard for me to sort of conceptualize the full extent of you always have what you need using really extreme situations like that. It's difficult for me to be able to say that. And of course, if you watched my video, The Principle, which is one of my favorites, I really recommend it. You know that I said that a principle has to be true in all extremes. So that's really what I'm wondering about. I really wanted to throw this out there and see what other people think. I know there is application for it that's been very useful for me. It has helped me to redefine need, at least look at it in a different light. But there are some things that I still don't completely understand. So anyway, I'm really interested to hear your thoughts on this. Let me know if this helped you at all, or if you have any thoughts on this, any perspective. And of course, please feel free to leave feedback or anything like that as well. Please feel free to share this with anybody who you think will find it interesting or helpful. I'd really appreciate it. We're all growing together. Really, thank you so much. I know this topic is a bit more philosophical in nature, but I really enjoy thinking philosophical and then figuring out how it applies practically to our lives. But anyway, thank you so much. I really thought this video would be shorter. Thank you so much for listening. I'd love to hear your advice from your experiences in the comments. We're all growing together and it's very appreciated. You can click subscribe and then the bell icon to be notified every time I post a video. I post every Friday. Feel free to share Philosoul with anyone you think will find it helpful. I want to help as many people as I can. Check out the channel page for lots more videos and other channels that I really enjoy. Until next time, much love.